أهلا بيكم. النهاردة هنغوص أكتر في رواية امال عظيمة لديكنز، وتحديدا الفصل 20.
أيوة، الفصل ده مهم قوي، اللي هو وصول بيب للندن لأول مرة ولقائه الأول بالسيد جاجرز المحامي.
بالظبط، وهنشوف بقى الانطباعات الأولى دي، صدمة لندن ومكتب جاجرز الغريب ده، وإزاي يعني رسمت له صورة العالم الجديد اللي هو داخل عليه.
هي فعلا كلمة الصدمة دي مهمة. يعني هو كان عنده توقعات عن لندن العظيمة، بس أول ما وصل لقى حاجة تانية خالص.
اللي لقى بالظبط
وصفها بأنها مدينة ضخمة بس قال عليها قبيحة ومعوجة وضيقة وقذرة. يعني دي أول علامة كده إن الآمال العظيمة دي شكلها مش لماعة قوي زي ما كان فاكر.
وحتى قبل ما يقابل جاجرز نفسه، سواق الحنطور اللي وصله لما عرف هو رايح فين قال أنا عرفه كده بقلق، صح؟
أيوة، كأن الاسم لوحده بقى يعني ليه رهبة، وده بيحضرنا للمكان نفسه، مكتب جاجرز في ليتل بريتن. وصف المكتب ده لوحده حكاية.
المكتب فعلا ديكنز وصفه بتفاصيل مرعبة.
أرض دهنية كده، بيقولوا من كتر ما العمالة بيسندوا عليها،
والكرسي بتاعه اللي بيشبهه بالتابوت، دي صورة قوية جدا،
قوية ومخيفة. وكمان الحاجات الغريبة اللي مالية المكان، مسدس قديم مصدي، سيف بغمده، صناديق شكلها غريب، والأكتر بقى القناعين الجبس دول.
القناعين دول بالذات يعني وقفوا بيب وخلوه يفكر، دول بيرمزوا لإيه تفتكري؟
غالبا دي كانت أقنعة الموت لمجرمين اتعدموا، ودي كانت عادة موجودة زمان. فهي رسالة واضحة لأي حد بيدخل المكتب، بتفكرهم بالمصير المظلم وبالقانون اللي جاجرز بيتعامل معاه.
يعني المكان كله مصمم عشان يرهب ويدي إحساس بالقوة والغموض والخطر كمان.
بالظبط، والأجواء دي مكملة حتى بره المكتب. لما بيب خرج يتمشى وهو مستني، لقى نفسه فين؟ في سميثفيلد.
المكان اللي كان مليان قذارة ودم ودهون وقتها.
وبعدين قرب من سجن نيوجيت ولاحظ القش اللي محطوط على الأرض عشان يمنع دوشة العربيات، فاستنتجت إن في محاكمات شغالة. يعني الجو العام كله كئيب وموتر.
وبيوصل الموضوع للذروة بقى لما شاف الناس اللي واقفة مستنية جاجرز بره،
ودول ما كانوش عملاء عاديين أبدا، دول ناس يعني باين عليهم القلق واليأس الشديد، زي الست إيميليا اللي كانت بتعيط وصاحبتها بتهديها وبتقول لها إيه؟ جاجرز معاه، عايزة ايه اكتر من كده؟
الجملة دي لوحدها بتلخص حاجات كتير، بتوريه قد ايه نفوذه وقد ايه الناس دي متعلقة دي، كأنه المنقذ الوحيد حتى وهو بالصرامة دي.
ولما جاجرز وصل بقى، طريقة تعامله أكدت الصورة دي تماما. حاسم جدا، جاف، مسيطر بشكل كامل.
أيوة، رفض يسمع تفاصيل زيادة من الراجلين اللي كانوا مستنيينه، وهدد الست إيميليا أنه هيسيب قضية ابنها لو جت تاني، ورفض قضية الراجل اليهودي فورا. مفيش مساحة لأي عواطف
خالص. بس النقطة اللي بعد كده، الحوار بينه وبين الكاتب بتاعه مايك عن الشاهد، دي بتكشف جانب تاني.
الحتة دي مهمة قوي. لما مايك قال إن الشاهد ده مستعد يعني يشهد بأي حاجة، جاجرز اتنرفز جدا.
بالظبط، بس هو اتنرفز مش عشان الكذب نفسه، قد ما هو عشان الغباء والفجاجة في عرض الموضوع. هو مش شخص أخلاقي بالمعنى التقليدي، بس ليه قواعده الصارمة في اللعب دي.
يعني هو مشكلته مش في الكذب قد ما هي في طريقة تقديمه، عايزها تتعمل بالشياكة. يعني
أقرب لكده، هو بيعلم مايك إزاي يقدم الموضوع بشكل مقبول قانونيا، اللي هو يا إما عن السمعة أو إنه كان معاه طول الليل. عايز ذكاء وتلاعب ضمن حدود القانون، مش شهادة زور واضحة وفجة.
ولما شاف الشاهد نفسه الطباخ اللي شكله مجرم وسكران ده، رفضه خالص.
رفضه باشمئزاز. يعني حتى في العالم المظلم ده هو عنده معايير معينة كده، وشايف إن النور ده من الشهود خطر وغبي ومش بروفيشنال.
وبعد كل ده يروح يرتب أمور بيب بمنتهى البرود، مصروف كبير وسكن مع السيد بوكيت الشاب وتمام.
بس حتى وهو بيرتب له أموره في تحذير، بيقول له إنه هيراقب فواتيره عشان يتأكد إنه مش بيصرف زيادة. وبيختمها بجملة بصراحة غريبة جدا،
اللي هي
أكيد هتعمل حاجة غلط بس ده مش ذنبي. جملة تثير القلق فعلا جدا، كأنه بيتنبأ إن بيب لازم هيغلط في العالم ده اللي دخله، وفي نفس الوقت بيرفع المسؤولية عن نفسه تماما. انت اللي هتتحمل نتيجة اختياراتك.
يعني التجربة كلها على بعضها، من أول انطباعه عن لندن لحد مكتب جاجرز وعملائه وطريقته، بترسم صورة قاسية ومربكة للعالم الجديد ده.
عالم القوة فيه باردة ومحسوبة، والنجاح فيه شكله كده ليه تمن، ومش بالضرورة تمن بسيط.
وده بيخلينا نسأل بقى، هل الأجواء دي، عالم جاجرز بنفوذه وقسوته وحتى تلاعبه بالقوانين ده، هل ده مؤشر لطبيعة الآمال العظيمة اللي بيجري وراها؟
وهل فعلا عشان الواحد يحقق طموحه لازم يتعامل مع الجوانب الصعبة والمظلمة دي من الحياة؟ ده سؤال كبير الرواية بتفضل تستكشفه بعد كده.
Welcome to the deep dive. You've given us these excerpts from chapter 20 of A Day with Mr. Jaggers, and we're going to really dig into Pip's first experiences in London.
Right, his arrival and that very first meeting, well, not quite meeting, but introduction to the world of Mr. Jaggers.
Exactly. Think of this as your way to quickly grasp those crucial first impressions, the atmosphere, without, needing to read every line yourself. Okay, so Pip arrives. Let's start there.
Yeah, and the first thing that really strikes you is that gap between what he might have expected and the reality he finds.
Mm-hmm.
He's had this 5-hour journey, probably imagining London as this grand capital, right? But he lands right in the middle of this chaotic ravel of traffic.
Well, it's quite the letdown, isn't it? He doesn't hold back either. Calls it ugly, crooked, narrow, and dirty.
Which is pretty bold considering the sort of default British pride at the time. The idea that London, Britain, it's all the best.
Yeah, it really positions him as an outsider looking in quite critically from the very start.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think that initial disillusionment tells us?
Well, I think it's significant. It shows Pip isn't just going to accept things at face value. He's not swayed by reputation or nationalism.
Right.
This early disappointment kind of sets the stage. He's going to be looking beneath the surface, trying to figure things out.
And that critical eye is definitely working when he gets that hackney coach, the one taking him to Little Britain near Smithfield.
Oh, that coach. It's something else.
It really is. Describe it as a wonderful equipage.
Yeah.
But in the most ironic way possible, right?
Yeah.
6 coronets, raggedy bits, even a harrow to keep people off.
Yeah, Pip calls it like a straw yard or a rag shop. It's bizarre.
What does that strange transport suggest to you?
I mean, it feels like a symbol of London itself, maybe. Faded grandeur, hints of nobility with the coronets, but it's all a bit worn down, struggling.
Mm-hmm. A city of contrasts.
Exactly. And then you have the coachman himself.
Ah, yes. His reaction when Pip mentions Jagger's name.
It's quite telling, isn't it? That look, the head shake. I know him. It's loaded.
Yeah, it suggests Jaggers has a reputation, and maybe not a completely warm and fuzzy one. Even this experienced London coachman seems a bit wary.
Precisely. It's not just, oh, I know the name. It feels like there's apprehension there.
Right.
It primes us, and Pip, for the kind of person Jaggers might be, even before we get there, the coachman practically bolts after getting his shilling.
Yeah, doesn't linger.
Yeah.
So Pip finally gets to the office. Gloomy street, the name's starkly painted on the door. Doesn't exactly feel welcoming.
No, and the clerk inside just reinforces that. Very dismissive. Jaggers is in court. Go wait in his room. Efficient, but cold.
Impersonal. What does that initial reception say about Jaggers' whole operation?
Well, it suggests it's a busy place, probably deals with a lot of difficult situations, urgent matters, no time for pleasantries.
All business.
All business, exactly. And then Pip gets into Jaggers' actual room.
And it's quite a room. That weird skylight, eccentrically pitched, casting strange light.
And all the objects, the rusty pistol, the sword, those boxes.
And the casts. Those dreadful casts of swollen faces. What are we supposed to make of all that? It's quite creepy.
It definitely creates an atmosphere, doesn't it? Unconventional, maybe a bit macabre. The casts especially. Death masks. Evidence.
Who knows? But it hints at the darker side of his work, surely.
Almost certainly. The weapons, too. Protection.
Okay.
Or just part of the image.
And the furniture itself. That deadly black horsehair chair. Sounds incredibly uncomfortable.
Like a coffin, yeah. And the greasy patch on the wall opposite.
Right, where clients have clearly backed up against it, probably nervously.
The whole room seems designed to, well, intimidate. Put people off balance.
You'd think so. Gives Jaggers the upper hand, maybe?
It seems likely. A psychological advantage, perhaps. Matching the legal predicaments of his clients.
Understandably, Pip feels a bit overwhelmed by it all. He decides to leave the room and explore.
And ends up in Smithfield.
Oh, that description is powerful. All is smeared with filth and fat and blood and foam. You can almost smell it.
It's brutal. A real contrast to any, polished image of London. It's the raw underbelly.
And Pip wants out of there fast. Shows his sensitivity, maybe. Or just how grim it really was.
Probably a bit of both. It highlights his sort of outsider status still.
His escape route takes him past St. Paul's and towards Newgate Prison.
And another strange encounter.
Yeah, the exceedingly dirty and partially drunk Minister of Justice. Quite the character.
Offering tours of the gallows with his mildewed clothes.
It's pretty grim, isn't it? The casualness about public executions and punishment.
It really underscores a different time, a different societal attitude towards, well, justice and consequence. Very stark.
So Pip heads back towards Jagger's office, and now he starts noticing other people waiting around.
Ah, the clients.
Yes, a real mix. You've got those two secretive men muttering about Jaggers getting things done.
Jaggers would do it if it was to be done. Shows his reputation for effectiveness, maybe regardless of methods.
Then the crying woman, Melia, being told, Jaggers is for him. What more could you have?
Total reliance. Desperation, really? He's seen as the ultimate solution, the best hope.
And that very excitable Jewish man.
Jaggerth, Jaggerth, Jaggerth.
All other thick-sacks. Yeah, intense loyalty or belief there.
Ooh.
What do all these glimpses tell us about Jaggers?
They paint a picture of his influence, don't they? The range of people he deals with, the serious, probably quite grim situations they're in. They see him as powerful, maybe their only chance.
And then the man himself appears.
Suddenly. And there's this rush towards him.
But he handles them all so dismissively, yet with complete authority, telling the men to pay Wemmick, warning the women not to bother him.
Threatening to drop Bill's case. Very firm boundaries. No emotional appeals allowed, it seems.
Yeah, very direct. Rejecting the Jewish man outright. He's clearly in command.
Absolutely. Efficient, maybe ruthless, focused purely on the business at hand.
So back inside the office, we get that scene with Mike, the one who was kicked out earlier.
Right, and the discussion about finding a witness.
And Mike makes that mistake of saying the witness will swear to anything.
Which leads to Jagger's rather theatrical anger.
Right. Is it genuine outrage, do you think? Or part of the performance of being a lawyer?
It's hard to say for sure. It could be genuine distaste for blatant perjury being stated so openly, or it could be, maintaining plausible deniability, protecting himself.
The clerk's whisper is revealing, too. Spoony. Soft head. You say it face to face.
Exactly. Suggests this kind of thing happens, but you don't talk about it so bluntly. There are ways to operate in the gray areas.
And the witness himself, when they bring him in, dressed up as a spectable pie man, but looking rough with a black eye.
It's almost darkly funny, isn't it? The attempt at respectability versus the reality. Jaggers is disgusted, tells them to get rid of him.
It's quite a glimpse into the machinery behind the scenes of justice, or maybe injustice.
It certainly suggests a world where truth is malleable.
Okay, so after all that chaos, Jaggers finally turns his attention to Pip.
Standing up, having his sandwich and sherry. Very routine.
And he lays out the plan. Pip's lodging at Barnard's Inn with young Mr. Pocket. The allowance, very liberal.
Provides the tradesman's cards, sets up credit. It's all very practical, very arranged.
But then he adds that little comment. Expects Pip will go wrong somehow.
Yeah, that's interesting. A mix of fulfilling his duty, but also this deep cynicism about, people, maybe based on his job.
A strange sort of mentorship, if you can call it that.
Mm-hmm.
Generous, but detached, maybe even distrustful.
It fits the pattern, doesn't it? Efficient, maybe even effective, but not warm.
And the final detail, no need for a coach, Pip will walk with Wemmick.
Wemmick, the clerk from the next room. And Wemmick just sort of clears a path through the crowd still waiting outside.
Another subtle sign of the power associated with Jagger's office, right? Even his clerk commands some deference.
It seems so. Being in Jagger's orbit carries weight.
So, wrapping this initial deep dive up,
Well,
what are the main takeaways for you?
London is immediately presented as this place of stark contrasts. Not the dream city, but full of grime, chaos, alongside hints of structure and power.
Mm-hmm. Grandeur and decay, side by side.
Exactly. And Mr. Jaggers emerges instantly as this formidable, slightly mysterious figure. Powerful, operates in this rather dark legal world.
Deals with desperation, seems very controlling, maybe intimidating.
Definitely. And we're left with questions, aren't we? What are these cases? What's the story behind the casts, the weapons? What's Pip's life actually going to be like under his guidance?
Loads of intrigue set up right away. Those first impressions are just packed with hints and atmosphere.
They really are. It's a powerful introduction to this whole new world for Pip.
It really makes you consider how much those first encounters shape everything, doesn't it? How we perceive a new place, new people.
Absolutely. And it also highlights how sometimes the real power, the real action is happening just beneath the surface in these shadowy dealings that most people, they never see.
A great point to reflect on. Thanks for digging into this chapter with us.
My pleasure.
Until our next deep dive, keep looking closely at the world around you.